This is Miss Lyons. This is Chapter 11, The Fires Die, April 21st, 22nd. As the third day after the earthquake dawned, the battle for San Francisco went on. Some fires continued to spread through the southern section of the city. Early Saturday morning, a man discovered a hydrant there that still had water. A hose was hooked up to it, and the last flames were put out. For many years after that, the hydrant was painted gold as a memorial. Now the only real threat was along North Beach in the northeast tip of the city. The fire there was particularly dangerous because it might reach oil tanks along the piers. If that happened, there would be a mammoth explosion. Fortunately, U.S. Navy ships arrived. President Theodore Roosevelt had sent them when he heard of the disaster. Their crews came ashore to help the city fire department. A fireboat sprayed water over the area. At last, at 7:15 a.m., 74 hours after the earthquake, the last of the fires flickered and then died. It was over. In a little while, it started to rain. The fire was over, but at least half of the city's people had lost their homes. The parks were filled with families who lived in tents. They put up joking signs like the New Palace Hotel, but their future was uncertain. They did not know if they would have jobs. The central business district was nothing but ashes. Yet everyone felt the need to give thanks. Much of the city remained. The docks, which were necessary for its economy, had been saved, and people were grateful just to be alive. On Sunday, the Archbishop of San Francisco said Mass at St. Mary's Cathedral. The service was held outdoors. The fire department said it was still not safe inside, so hundreds gathered in the street in front of St. Mary's to pray. The Archbishop had sad news to deliver. He told the crowd that Fire Chief Sullivan had died. He never regained consciousness. He never knew of the bravery of the firefighters he had trained. In Golden Gate Park, the Presidio, and other places, people gathered for prayer services. There was a sense that everyone had been through the worst and could now look to the future. There were already signs that the city was recovering. Children were being born in Golden Gate Park. Many of them were named Golden Gate and had a story to tell all their lives. Somebody posted a sign on a ruined building. There is no water and still less soap. We have no city, but lots of hope. A friendly banker. A.P. Giannini was the head of a small bank called the Bank of Italy. Most of his customers were Italian immigrants. Right after the earthquake, Giannini feared that the money in his bank would be burned or stolen. He borrowed a wagon and took all the money to his home south of the city. After the fires were out, Giannini set up a wooden stand near Washington Square. He had a bag of gold coins with him and began making loans. People needed money to rebuild their homes and businesses. Giannini's Bank of Italy was the first bank to reopen after the quake. The safes in the bigger banks were too hot to open for days. Remember, there were no ATMs at this time. Giannini's customers remembered how he'd be willing to take a chance by loaning money to them. So in the months ahead, they began to deposit any money they had in Giannini's bank. Later on, he changed the name of the bank, to Bank of America. It still exists today and is one of the world's largest banks.